Hello there. My name is Janet LaPella. I am a doc student in the Educational Studies program here at Eastern. Today I'm going to talk about linguistic support, meaning like English language support for international students at EMU. Where does one go for help? Many thanks to Dr. Carpenter, who is my mentor for this project and has been really helping me with quantitative inquiry. So here we go. A little overview of what I'm going to talk about today. I am going to give some information about international students generally in the United States, talk about the current study, which is a survey study that we did here at EMU, findings of the study, of course, and then some conclusions or implications of the data that we found. So here we go. First of all, international students in the U.S., this kind of goes without saying, but they're really, really important culturally to American institutions of higher education. They bring culture, language, different ideas, perspective, and all of that. And if that weren't enough, international students also bring much needed enrollment revenue to American universities. And in the past couple of years, we've seen a decline because of the pandemic in international students' enrollment. That makes sense, but boy, oh boy, would it be great to have them back. They're such an important part of universities. So supporting these students is really important to modern American universities. So here we go. We're going to see, to support them, we need to understand their experiences and what they need and what makes them enroll in universities in the first place. So here we go. We're going to look at the challenges that international students report. Here they are. Culture shock is a big one. These are challenges for international students in the U.S. Loneliness, isolation, racism, discrimination, money issues like all college students, I'm sure, depression, anxiety. And then what I have highlighted here are English language proficiency challenges. The reason it's highlighted is twofold. Number one, it is the topic of discussion for this presentation, and also in all the literature that I read about international students, English language proficiency comes up as a challenge in like every single journal article. It's kind of interesting. So we're going to look at what this looks like at EMU. So here we go. So this study, the research questions that I have are, first of all, do international students at EMU follow this trend of needing linguistic support like all the other articles that I've read? And if they do, where do international students go for help? Do social interactions help? Does who they hang out with? Are they helping with English and therefore potentially helping with studies? And then does use of campus services affect English proficiency? And we'll look specifically at what campus services I looked at. So this study is a survey study. As I mentioned, it was 29 questions, 5 sections. Just here's an overview of the sections. Demographics, of course. English proficiency. So I had people self-rate, and then I had people give their English entrance test scores if they were comfortable or if they even had them. There were 4 questions about social interaction. How much do you hang out with other international students, native speakers? And then academic integration. How do the following services help you with your English, and how often do you use these services in the first place? And here's the services that I looked at EMU. University Writing Center, Office of International Students and Scholars, Counseling and Psychological Services, University Advising, and then professors' office hours. And then finally, I looked at academic achievement. So I really wanted to see if English proficiency, if your level of English proficiency affects your GPA in one way or another. So let's take a look, shall we? So, well, first, I just want to tell you that I sent this to 306, this survey, to 306 current international students at EMU. I got help from IRB in sending the survey. It's very recent, from November 2021 to February 2022. I got 53 responses for a very nice response rate. Thank you if you did that. 14 surveys weren't included because either the person was not an international student or their native language wasn't English. And then 39 surveys included in this particular data set. So demographics, we'll just look at it, was mostly graduate students, female. Very cool. We had 18 countries, 21 native languages, all represented, and then 33 different majors. So this is really, really international students from all over the school, which is really cool. And then the English proficiency results. So here is I did a scale. I had people rate their English ability in reading, writing, speaking, and listening, and they could rate themselves, as you see down here. 1 would be very bad, or 5 would be excellent. I had them rate themselves their English language ability. So we had a lot of, here's the number of students that responded this way. So I averaged all these out: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Here are the averages of people's perceived English ability. So we have a lot of people who really perceive themselves as having great English skills, and I know them, I see them, and they really, yeah, they must have known English for a long time, which is awesome. I am a French teacher, so I have my good days and I have my bad days. Then we do have people still who are newer to English. So let's see how we can support them and how they're feeling. So down here are some people who rated themselves a little lower on the scale, and that's okay. We're here to help. I get it. I've been there. So in other words, in English proficiency, 23% of respondents said they struggle academically because of their English skills, and then just some open-ended responses. Somebody said writing was the skill that they struggled with the most, and respondents wanted help in communication, speaking practice, accent clarification, and understanding grammatical errors, for sure. Social integration. So I ran some numbers here. Social integration, I had one interesting finding, and I don't quite know how to interpret it yet, but there was a significant effect between GPA and the frequency of interaction with other international students outside of school. So if you hang out with a bunch of other international students, or if you don't, it affects your GPA potentially. That was a significant finding. No other social interaction seemed to yield statistically significant results, but I thought that was pretty interesting. But I think it's maybe a study for a later date. Okay, so academic integration and academic performance. I asked which services help you with your English skills. So I had all those academic departments or services, and people could click as many as they wanted. So you can see too that people really felt helped with language skills: the University Writing Center, and then professors' office hours. So we're going to just zoom right in on those real quick. The University Writing Center, it's interesting. So I asked, what services help you with your English skills, and it seems that respondents were enthusiastic that the Writing Center does. However, I asked, how often do you visit the Writing Center? People could say 1 for never, or 5 for very often, and most people said they never visit the Writing Center. So the Writing Center must have a good, how I read this anyway, is that the Writing Center has a great reputation for helping with English skills, but people still don't make appointments for whatever reason. It's just some kind of testimonials of the Writing Center. People did leave comments about how they guided, how much the Writing Center helped with confidence in writing, and that was really cool. Professors' office hours. Here's the chart of how frequently do you visit professors' office hours. People do visit professors' office hours a little bit more than they did the Writing Center. So this is a service that people are actually using, and that is consistent with the literature on this. And then just, again, some testimonials about professors' office hours. I like this first quote. It says they're always willing to help. So that's really cool. Yeah, professors help with writing and understanding the assignments and stuff, and that's really great. It's good to hear. Then I asked, what can EMU do to better support your English skills? 10 people said low-cost ESL classes would be helpful, and then some people linked social events too, and group activities with helping English skills. And that is a fact. If you ever study another language, get out there and speak it. That's my advice to you. And then one person took the time to write this really clear, good message that I liked. EMU should improve their methods of communication to reach out more to international students and to provide them with activities with native speakers and other international services. Personally, I've never been invited to any of the institutions mentioned in your research, and I wish I had. So yeah, it would be great to reach out to international students more, because EMU does have a lot of things to offer. We just have to sell them. So discussion, EMU has an array of English proficiency levels within our international student population, and some people do want help with linguistic support. Right now, international students feel their professors in the University Writing Center are most helpful with English skills. There are so many more campus services that could possibly help. How do we bring these offices into the conversation? Do we do workshops? Do we do training about the needs of international students? I will leave it at that question. And then not necessarily linguistic, but outside social interaction seems related to academic performance for international students. And as always, let's give international students a great, big, beautiful welcome at EMU. Thanks so much.